Welcome to Beyond the Box Score, a new show where our roundtable here talks about sports. And usually it's through banter and argument. And it's going to be all the major sports topics of the day. I'm your host, Trevor Amicone. Let's introduce you to our roundtable. Zach, Faifo, how you doing today?
Doing good. Really good.
You ready to go? You ready to go for this show? I'm pretty excited.
You know, this is our first show, and I'm ready to take it on.
I'm psyched to be here. I can't wait to give Faifo a bad time all day long. Can't wait.
Me neither. I think we can team up on Faifo. So, all right, well, let's get started. There's no better place to start the first segment of our show than on Super Bowl XLVI. The big game coming up on Sunday when the New England Patriots take on the New York Giants in Indianapolis. A little bit later in the show, we'll make our predictions on the game, but we want to know what you think. So we sent Faifo out on the street to find out who you're picking on Sunday.
Manning versus Brady. Patriots versus Giants. Sounds cliche, but if you remember Super Bowl XLII, then you remember the Giants stealing the spotlight and defeating the Patriots. But the question is, who do Weber State students want to win? Honestly, I don't really care. I'm a 49ers fan, but let's just find out who these students want to win. What football team are you going for in the Super Bowl?
I'm Giants. We're all Giants here because my Cowboys are out. So
I'm going to need you to get out of the building, and just go, just get out. Hey, you guys want to watch the Super Bowl? No. You guys don't know what man, nobody in Utah knows what the Super Bowl is.
I haven't been paying attention to the Super Bowl, sorry.
You don't watch football?
Nope.
Are you on your mission?
No.
Oh, okay. Hey, you kind of look like Tom Brady. Who you going for the Super Bowl?
I like the Super Bowl this year.
Super Bowl? Of course. Whoa, sassy. Hey. All right, who are you going for?
The Giants.
Who are you going for the Super Bowl?
I've been paying attention, I'm not lying.
Get out. Just get out. Hey, who are you going for in the Super Bowl? Are you Skyping? Hey, Heidi, who are you going for in the Super Bowl? Right there. Who are you going for in the Super Bowl? Can you get that? Hey, you gonna watch the Super Bowl? You gonna watch the Super Bowl? I don't know if you're watching the Super Bowl or not. So I tried my best, but as you can see, I barely got anywhere. But come Sunday, there will be a winner, whether you're watching the commercials, the halftime show, or the actual game. Patriots, Giants, rematch in Super Bowl XLVI.
So it seemed like there's a lot of indifference out there, but there's definitely not any of that in here. Let's start with you, Zach. Who you got and why?
You know, I'll be honest, Trevor. Originally, I thought the Giants' defensive line was going to be able to do the same exact thing they did back in 2008. I just don't see it happening, though. With Belichick, I don't think he's going to allow that to happen. He's too good of a coach. He's going to have wide receivers, tight ends, chipping Justin Tuck and Pierre-Paul. I just don't think they're going to be able to get to him. And back in Week 9, the Giants only got 2 sacks. I just don't see it happening. The only thing that really will kill the Pats is turnovers, like it did back in Week 9 when Brady had 3, and I don't think he's going to do that again on Sunday.
You're right. He's going to be very motivated. He's already talked about how much this game, this rematch, means to him. So we'll see if he turns it over 4 times again. I don't think they've got a chance. Faifo, who are you picking in this one?
Well, you know, I'm kind of torn between the two. You know, obviously you got the Giants who have Mario Manningham, you know, Hakeem Nicks, and then you have Eli Manning, then you have Ahmad Bradshaw, then you have, you know, Brandon Jacobs. So you have a good offensive front there. But like, you know, Zach said, you also have, you know, JP squared, OC, you have, you know, just that defensive line is tremendous. But honestly, I have to go with the Patriots just because, you know, you have Ocho Cinco, who has never played in the Super Bowl, so honestly, he's going to come to the game. He's going to come prepared. And then you have Wes Welker, and then you have, you know, 3 offensive linemen who are, you know, all-pro selections within the past, you know, few years as far as Pro Bowlers. And then you have, you know, the ultimate guy. You have Tom Brady. And there's no way, you know, he's being compared better than Peyton Manning, and then at the level of Joe Montana, Steve Young, and, you know, all those great other quarterbacks, you know, Troy Aikman. So honestly, I'm just going to have to go with the Patriots.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think he's already in that league of the Joe Montanas and those type quarterbacks. I think if he wins this game on Sunday, he may be considered the best quarterback in the history of the NFL, which is saying something. We could be watching history here. And I think if Eli Manning wins this game, he takes that step up maybe into that elite category of quarterbacks that he wanted to be in so much at the start of the year.
Well, he did say that, you know, he feels like he belongs in the league with Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, you know, obviously his brother Peyton. And you know, like you said, if this game does symbolize anything, it symbolizes two icons, whether they're already guaranteed Hall of Fames. I guarantee you that. But like you said, you know, it symbolizes both of their roads.
You think Eli Manning's guaranteed the Hall of Fame? Because I don't think he is unless he beats Tom Brady a second time. Okay, I'll be honest. And what does that do to Tom Brady's legacy if Eli beats him 2 times?
No kidding. That is a good question. I mean, and here's what I'm thinking about. There was people that were saying this week, what about Tom Coughlin? Tom Coughlin has gotten so much junk for being for his job that he's done with the Giants, and now he's finding himself in another Super Bowl. If he wins this, is he a Hall of Fame coach?
Absolutely. Everybody wants to pick on the old guy, but he's done fantastic.
Yeah.
And the Giants, I think in 2008 they were a wild card as well. Every time they peak at the right time, and that's what makes them great.
Yeah. So you guys are both picking the Patriots. That shocks me. If I thought, as I was preparing for the show, I thought for sure you two would go with the Giants and I'd be the one going with the Patriots. And instead, you two are going for the Patriots. I'm picking the Giants. And not only am I picking the Giants, I'm picking the Giants to win by 2 scores. Giants 38-28. And here's the difference. Everybody wants to talk about the 2 tight ends for the New England Patriots, Aaron Hernandez and Rob Gronkowski. And Gronkowski, we know, is not going to be 100% with the high ankle sprain. That usually is a 4 to 6 week recovery. And he's going to try and go at it after 2 weeks. And
well, let me stop you right there. The element of the game, playing the game, you know, there's so much factors that come in the game. You know, maybe if this was 20 years, maybe even 10 years ago, it would be a different story. But with so much development within, you know, physical therapy, medical, you know, attention, and then as far as, you know, they even said something about having a special shoe made for him within a couple of days for him to start practicing on. With all those factors playing, I mean, you even get cortisone shots before the game. I mean, come on now. You can get more than 2.
He's going to get treatment.
He's going to get something. And, you know, the fact of that is, you know, the only thing that matters to is the Giants. The Giants are going to come in with the mindset of like, okay, is this guy playing or is he not playing? Okay, he has a high ankle sprain, but do we take him seriously or do we take him lightly? That's just the mindset of a player. I mean, we've had it all, you know, as we played.
okay, so here's my rebuttal to that. I don't care if Gronkowski is 100%. The Giants are going to respond to that. The Giants have a big nickel defensive package where they bring in 3 safeties, and that's matched up very well with these 2 tight ends. Back in Week 9, it's going to match up well again this week in the Super Bowl. And all you have to do is look at who the Patriots have played in the playoffs to get to the Super Bowl. They've played Joe Flacco and Tim Tebow, the 2 worst quarterbacks in the playoffs. And now they got to go up against Eli Manning. It's just a bad matchup for New England.
I think against the Ravens, they did go against the best defense, though,
that's true,
in my opinion. And I understand your big nickel package, but if Gronkowski really, to me, is the X factor, because Tom Brady went to him 17 times in the red zone for touchdowns during the regular season. He threw 39 touchdowns. So it's nearly a 50% ratio where he goes to Gronkowski in the end zone. And if Gronkowski's 100%, I don't honestly see a safety being able to match up with him. I just don't. Not within the 20-yard line.
You know, the tight end position has, you know, it's changed so much out of the years. I mean, you've seen it with Antonio Gates and, you know, and Jimmy Graham, you know, from the Saints. And you see that tight end position. All they are is like, it's a blocker as well as a, you know, a receiver. So any way you look at it, you know, whether if they have that big nickel package, even if they bring in a dime package, you know, they're going to give them misfits. And then you got to think about, this is the Super Bowl. You know, there's not going to be, you know, you got to go.
You're going Bill Belichick. I get it.
You got to go where credits needs to be earned. You know what I mean? Yeah. Where it needs to be given. And so Bill Belichick has, you know, in my mind, is one of the greatest coaches to ever coach the game.
All right, here's my X factor, and then we got to move on. But my X factor out of the slot, Victor Cruz, going to make a big catch in the 4th quarter in a key time. Eli Manning, 15 4th-quarter touchdowns this season. That is the best in the league. So keep an eye open. My pick, 38-28 Giants. All right. So Super Bowl 46 kicks off Sunday night at 6:30 Eastern Time. That's 4:30 here Mountain Time. There are many storylines to follow in this Super Bowl, but the rematch factor has got to be the biggest one. These two teams squared off in Super Bowl 42 just 4 seasons ago when the Giants pulled the huge upset over the then undefeated Patriots. Many have called that game the best Super Bowl ever. This week, I wrote an article for KSL.com on the top 5 greatest Super Bowls ever, and it was my number 1. Guys, where does it rank for you guys?
Gotta be top 3, top 2 probably. I mean, my argument to that is the Titans-Rams game. You know, you take a team where, you know, I think that was, you know, Kurt Warner's first season, you know, coming out, and you know, you had a guy like Marshall Faulk who nobody knew, and then, you know, the other biggest name on that team was Orlando Pace, and he was an offensive tackle. I mean, so, and then you have the Titans who, you know, beat the Bills on the Music City Miracle.
Yeah.
And so, like, to me, that storyline just, you know, fits everything. It's so dramatic, and you know, it comes together. That's just my personal input.
I've got to go with some of the Super Bowls that I saw as a kid. Back in 1989, I was a huge Bengals fan, mainly because of the tiger-striped helmets. But they were going against the 49ers. The Super Bowl had never really had a quarterback that had ever led a fourth-quarter drive, if you will. And Joe Montana crushed my young, small heart in 1989, leading the San Francisco 49ers.
You had Boomer as your guys' quarterback.
Hey, don't knock Boomer, okay? But leading the 49ers on that when the Bengals had it wrapped up back in Super Bowl 23, in my opinion. Now, then you go 2 years later, I was a Buffalo Bills fan. Shouldn't have been.
Just changing teams,
I shouldn't have been. Yeah, I was. I'm a bandwagon guy.
Part
I get
of
it.
the
I was part of
Buffalo
the
Bills fan base had to be the most tortured fan base for a 4-year period of time. In those 4 years, when the Bills lost the Super Bowl for 4 years in a row.
I admit, and I was under 10 years old, so I probably cried every single time. But when Scott Norwood missed that field goal that should have been a chip shot to win that game, and it, to my knowledge, is the only Super Bowl to be lost by 1 point, just have that 1 point difference, it was devastating. It was absolutely devastating. And then the Bills couldn't get it done the next 3 times they were there. So to me, those are 2 of the biggest. And then the last one would be probably Ben Roethlisberger to Santonio Holmes in the corner of the end zone against the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah. A pass like that to win the game was just incredible. So those are my top 3. 2008 with Manning and Tom Brady was great, but those are my top 3.
You know, and let me just say this. Your little hearts deserve to be crushed. If you're picking teams, your favorite teams based on their helmets, that sounds like a reason that my girlfriend would be picking teams.
I was under 10 years old. I was under 10 years old. Come on.
It's a disgrace.
I was a little kid.
It's a disgrace.
I was a little kid. Feifo's favorite color when he was that age was like pink or something. He was in Alaska. He probably didn't even watch football.
But it doesn't matter. I was a 49ers fan who are 5-0 in Super Bowl.
But
I was born and raised as a 49er fan. Thank you very much. Unlike some people.
I don't know what's worse, picking a team because of their orange striped helmets or picking a team because they win all the time. You're a Yankees fan too.
No, I just wear a hat. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And it's not my fault.
Oh, okay. So he's not a fan, but he wears a hat.
Right.
That's cute.
I mean, but you know, if you want to start drinking and eating chicken wings and ordering pizza in the locker room, you know, I'd probably be a Boston Red Sox fan.
Ouch, Faifo. Ouch, Faifo. All right. Well, there's no question that Super Bowl 42 was one of the best ever. We'll see where Super Bowl number 46 fits on Sunday. Back here in Ogden, the Weber State men's basketball team bounced back from its stunning loss last weekend at Idaho State with a big win over Portland State on Thursday night. Damian Lillard was the story of the night, scoring 40 points on 13 of 18 from the floor. After a rough loss to Idaho State on Saturday night on a late buzzer beater, the Wildcats came back very nicely tonight against Portland State with a huge 92-79 win over the Vikings. Damian Lillard led all scorers with 40 points in this one in an incredible performance in front of 10 NBA scouts here at the D Event Center.
You know, I was just able to stay in rhythm and knock down the shots. You know, in transition, it helps when, you know, my teammates, when they run the floor, it's, you know, kind of spaces them out, and, you know, it leaves a lot of gaps for me to attack, and, you know, that's just what happened tonight.
You like seeing the hard work he puts in, and then he translates it onto the court. You know what I mean? He's in there every day working out, getting better, and then some days, you know, you have off, and like last game he was mad because he didn't play too well.
We all sat in the locker room after the game, after the Idaho State game, and, you know, everybody was kind of in disbelief, and it hurt. And I think the very next day, we made up our mind that we was going to come out and, you know, be more focused, you know, in practice and, you know, just try to get better and fix everything that went wrong.
More on Damian Lillard's incredible night. During one stretch in the second half, he scored 15 of the 19 Wildcat points during that stretch. Lillard was amazing during this game. 13 of 18 from the field, 6 of 8 from the three-point range.
He was just being himself out there tonight. He made plays, he made shots, had 5 assists as well. So played a terrific all-around game.
The Wildcats will stay at home this weekend, welcoming Northern Colorado here to the D Event Center on Saturday night at 5 p.m. For Weber State Sports, I'm Trevor Amicone.
Yeah, I am. Despite the win, the Idaho State loss is still costly because the Wildcats will now likely have to win at Montana in the last game of the season to host the Big Sky Conference Tournament, which is not an easy thing to do. Zach, can they do it?
I don't know. I mean, can Damian Lillard score 40 points every night? I mean, I know he's the leading scorer in the NCAA, but what is he as an all-around player? I haven't been at the games. You have.
So the biggest thing with Damian Lillard is there were 10 NBA scouts at this game last night. I talked to a couple of them, including Kevin O'Connor was there, the general manager of the Utah Jazz. And some of these scouts said, you know what, when I asked them, compare him to Jimmer Fredette. The comparison was he's Jimmer, but he plays defense. And Coach Ray said there in the package, and this is something that's huge to note, he scored 40 points, 13 of 18 shooting from the floor, 6 of 8 from 3, but he had 5 assists and only 1 turnover. That's huge. And he does, talking to his teammates, especially Scott Bamforth, the guy is selfless. He is just an incredible, incredible team player. And all the highlights that we could have put in that package, we didn't have time to, was him facilitating, him driving, the whole defense collapses on him, and then boom, he finds the open guy cutting to the basket for an easy assist. I mean, he's a great team player, great all-around player.
I know he was 13 of 18 from the floor, which to me tells me that most players to get to 40 points take about 30 shots, and they're about 50%. But exactly. 13 of 18 from the floor is pretty incredible. I mean, to miss 5 shots all game and get 40 points is great.
Okay, well, I mean, you didn't have to bring Kobe into this, but I mean,
of course I did, Faifo.
Stop.
Because when you're not wearing a Yankees hat, you're wearing Lakers gear.
Seriously.
And we're winners, right?
What's next? What's next? Is the USC hat? Oh, you're a USC fan. That's a shocker.
You're a USC fan.
Yeah. Hey, that's just how I was born and raised. But hey, you know what, you guys? I want to take it to this. Damian Lillard has came a long way from this, and I want to bring up his draft status. And I think, personally, this is his last year. Me and him are the same year. I actually played against him in high school. And, he was a great player then, too.
Faifo, you played basketball?
No, actually, I come from the same school as Carlos Boozer, played against Mario Chalmers.
Oh, right.
Next week, we should have a demonstration of him jumping.
Okay, you'd be surprised. You want to bet? Let's do it. We'll take it there. But,
all right, let's do it.
Anyways, I want to tell you guys, the predictions from Bleacher Report, Inside Hoops, all those other mock drafts, they're seeing him as first round, either early 20s or late teens
in the NBA draft.
In the NBA draft, and I'm thinking, from anywhere, my comparisons, he's a combo guard. He plays defense, like you say, he's an all-around game. To me, he resembles Russell Westbrook of the league.
Yeah, he does.
And in the league today, this league is driven by point guards or shooting guards. Everything that has to do with the bigs, you're lucky. You're lucky to come across Dwight Howard nowadays, or even a Shaquille O'Neal from back then. The center pool is so much lower that the guard pool, if you look at the draft, half of these guys, majority of the draft is guards. Yeah. And so they're saying that Damian Lillard, is going to the Celtics. Why? Because of his ability to score, of his ability to pass. Like you said, his ratio from turnover to assist is, phenomenal.
Well, I mean, it's incredible to watch, and I don't think he does have to score 40 points a night. He hasn't in the past. Obviously, he's averaging 25 points to lead the nation, which is the same thing Jimmer was doing, but just getting more attention. But he doesn't have to score 40 points for this team to win. This team is very, very deep in the Big Sky Conference. Maybe going forward, it's going to be a problem facing an NCAA team in the tournament. But this is a team that can make a little bit of a run in the tournament. Can surprise somebody. This is a team you've got to pick an upset if they can make it through the Big Sky tournament. So the Wildcats will play again Saturday night at 5 o'clock at home against Northern Colorado. Well, there's our first show ever. Not bad, huh?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed giving Faifo a bad time.
I think we should just
that's always fun, though.
Get rid of one guy.
Oh, really?
Who might that be?
Really? How about the guy that almost knocked over the light? That guy.
It's that baby bump.
Knock your teeth out.
Yeah. I bet you will. I bet you will. I'm glad that was on camera so I can take that to court when it happens.
Right on, right on.
There you go. Good thing we got cameras here in the studio. All right, can't wait for next week. Thank you guys for joining us today. For Faifo Levale and Zach Russell, I'm Trevor Amicone. We'll be back next week to wrap up the Super Bowl and for me to gloat on the fact that the Giants are going to win and much more next week as we take you beyond the box score.